Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. So current time of 9:05 a.m. on Eastern time on 2 days away from February. Hope you guys have a good weekend and also hope you guys had a good January already. With respect to Ethereum, $1,577, that about 4.10% so far. On the over crypto market and the equity market, as of this Monday morning so far, we are opening on a relatively muted note, I would say. Across the spectrum is relatively dampened at the moment, as we are anticipating, what's going to be a relatively wild week coming up, with the 31st and the 1st in transition period between month to month. We will have the FOMC meeting, right? Understanding what is the rate hikes going forward. Are we going to go with 50 basis point again? Are we going to go with 25 basis point again? Or are we going to go higher to 75 basis point this time? And also with respect to the outlook going forward, right? Obviously, it will be important for us to, look at it more of a proactive perspective, even though the Fed has been taking more of a overall reactive approach so far. So we see how that goes. In addition to that, we are going to see some earnings for Q1 depictions, understanding how some corporate companies, especially like the tech giants, are going to be maneuvering through this economical cycle going forward. Are we going to see more haircuts among the spectrum, like in terms of capital expenditure, right, on the real estate front or the office space front? And obviously human capital front, right? Are we going to see some layoffs again happening, which is not something we appreciate, right? And how are we dealing with the supply chain issues combined with the certain companies' geopolitical tensions among different countries? So we'll see how that goes, right? And also, in the upcoming tax season, well, which is as you can see on some of the ads that you see on YouTube, on Facebook or whatever, you start to see like TurboTax ads being popped up. Even like some influencers on TikTok are starting to promote like TurboTax and all of these other tax products. Tax season is coming up, right? And tax is one of the biggest expenditure people will have to spend in their lifetime. It's just that we don't really think about it that way. So how is that going to be driving the volatility into the market as well, right? Because ultimately you kind of have to allocate a certain amount of money for you to pay this amount of money, depending on how you did last year, on a more of a short-term capital gains tax to top-line revenue tax that you also have to be paying for, right? So we'll see how that goes, right? But before we dive into technical, let's take a look at the news front. It seems like, based on everything we talked about, is relatively the same, right? It seems like we are, the Dow future has fallen by 100 basis point as trader brace for a busy week of earnings, Fed raised decisions, etc. And then something that we're seeing, with respect to the Adani Group, which is the richest family or conglomerate holding company based in India or just like in Asia in general. It seems like the company is under fire for some speculations or conspiracies on fraud, and it seems like with respect to the fraud, the Adani guy, which is you see in this picture of the mustache, he looks like kind of like the Pringles guy, doesn't he? Lost $28 billion in a month. Obviously, it's due to a stock depreciation, sell off from lack of confidence from investors, mostly publicly. And then with respect to other news, you can see that there's just like kind of a mixed bag, right? On I would say it's a collective news of positive and some selective negative news. It seems like Tesla as of this today is up 11%. Up it's basically up $17.63 this morning, which is quite crazy. Obviously Tesla has been up and away due to its reported more than positive results, and also with respect to the supply chain issues. Seems like it's a lot better than what we expected, right? So let's just dive back into the technicals. Maybe let's take a look at the ARK Invest and BlackRock real quick as well. I do have a meeting in about 20 minutes, so So ARK Invest as of the 27th, which was on Friday, was a relatively green day. Seems like people were buying before the red day. And then on the BlackRock front, you will see like, still relatively muted. It's like more of a sell day on the Friday than a buy day compared to how ARK Invest is thinking about it. So let's just dive into it. With respect to recording time of 9:10 a.m. on the Eastern time, we are at 1580, so basically 1550, which is a technical level. You could see that we are leaping down to a next level of support right now. Right now we are leaping down. It seems that we're cooling off on a daily, definitely. So ideally coming back down to 1550, which is something we need to, all the way to 1450, which is something I think we should. To form this cup and handle. So we have this cup and handle will be coming soon in 1450 to 1350 from here. On a weekly front, you could see that we're still separated, large separation between. So I don't quite like this. I think the landing will be around like 40 coming up. So that's something we have to think about, right? Is your risk tolerance okay to be buying at these overreaching level at the moment? On the monthly, you could see that we are slowly gliding up with the 47 out of 70. So it's eventually going to be gliding up on the months out. So that means technically by Q3, you should ideally see some revival coming up. But again, this is more of a technical speculation. So we kind of have to use this as a guidance going forward. On the Bitcoin front, we could see that still leaping up on a monthly, right? It's still consolidating. It seems like we're slowly peaking up. Curvature is starting to form as well. Weekly is still large separation, so I don't quite like this. We have the 57 out of 70, right? Daily is about to form a death cross. You can see that the whale hump is getting more and more dramatic. You can see that we are 73 out of 70 in comparisons to days ago. We were at 85 out of 70. So it seems like we're coming down hot, and the next level of support is 21,500, and then subsequent to that would be 19,500 from here. Okay, take a look at the equity front. We are at 405, up right now, obviously, and you can see that we are meeting with the 408 mark previously. We met already earlier on Friday. We are forming this reverse head and shoulder head. This is a shoulder, head, shoulder. However, we do need to kind of cross down a little bit first before we run up, right? So we're at the 55 out of 70. I wouldn't be surprised if we meet all the way up here at the 424, but we are getting blocked at the moment, so that will be unlikely, especially with the weeks out of leap up with the large cross section right now. So the daily, it is looking also extended. So daily and weekly are looking extended, so we could technically keep running, but is it long lasting that we could reach again all the way to 446? I would say that's unlikely, right? But it is like bullish pattern. We are forming this reverse head and shoulder, so that's good. Monthly again, right? Similar to how the overall crypto market and the equity market is performing. We should ideally see some consolidation, and then by Q3 we should ideally see some reversal. That's probably the ideal timing for the beginning of a bull market. So we'll see how that goes, right? So appreciate you. Have a good day, and I will track you on the next one. Take care. Bye.